Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer. Today we are talking about rain. iRacing just got the rain update, so we are going to talk about how good it is in VR on the Quest 3. We're going to compare it to GT7 on PSVR2, and we're going to look head-to-head between the two games. We're going to compare it to the same track. This is Suzuka, and we're in a Porsche on each of the games. Not the exact same Porsche, but we're driving a Porsche in each game. And we're going to talk about the handling, how good the graphics are, how smooth the gameplay is. I'm also going to share my settings. This is what I'm using in iRacing in case you just want to see what settings I use for the video that you're watching. I'm running an RTX 3080 and an i7 10th gen CPU and 32 gigabytes of RAM. So just so you know, yes, it is a PC versus PlayStation 5. What are we getting here? So with iRacing, honestly, I did not know how good my computer was actually going to run this. I was actually a little concerned for, even with an RTX 3080, how good this is going to run with rain on a Quest 3. And I'm going to say it right now, I was completely blown away by how good iRacing actually looks in VR with rain and the smoothness that it actually played. I am running at 72 hertz. That is my preferred choice on the Quest 3 because I like to use decent graphics and I like to not have frame drops. And you know, for me, running at 72 hertz is smooth gameplay. Now GT7 runs at 60 hertz, but they reproject it to 120 hertz. So it's not a true 120 hertz. It's they throw in like extra screens in there, extra frames to make it appear at 120. But on iRacing, I am running at a full 72 hertz. Yes, you can run it at 80, 90 and more, but I prefer, like I said, 72. So let's compare the two games. And as you can see right here, head to head, first, I will say I do like the sound of the rain on GT7 hitting the car. I just feel like the sound itself of the actual rain is a little more immersive on GT7. But let's first talk about the graphics here. And you know, people say that iRacing has such a dated old graphics and GT7. Now understand, guys, I play more GT7 today than any other racing game. iRacing is the game I prefer on PC, but GT7 is the game I play all the time. So I have no bias here. I'm not saying I like this better or that because I have something invested in it. I like both games and I play GT7 more. Now, iRacing's graphics with this rain update, I was blown away. Literally blown away by the quality of the rain. And now you can see the puddles. You can see the actual rain with the shadows that are in the rain. It actually makes you feel like the floor is really wet. It makes you feel like and you really feel like you're driving on water, like through these puddles. If you look at GT7, the road to me, they have wetness and puddles around, but the road to me still looks kind of dry. And I have the rain on the highest setting that you can possibly do for each game. But in GT7, I just, the road doesn't appear as wet, and it's just, it actually, I don't know, mentally when I'm driving, I'm like, okay, the road's wet. Yes, the car's driving differently, it's slipping and stuff like that, but I almost feel like it's dry because it just has that dryness look to a lot of it, where if you look at iRacing, that road looks wet. Like, it looks like if you go out there and you lay down on the floor, you're gonna get soaked in a puddle. So I was definitely impressed by the graphics that iRacing brought in VR. Like, the insane thing to me was, this is in VR. I was not expecting it to look anywhere this good, and I thought I was gonna have to really lower everything down, but I was really shocked that I was able to get such a good looking rain in iRacing on PC. So yes, I thought GT7's rain was good before I ever tried it in iRacing. You know, when you talk about Automobilista 2 who has rain, and I haven't played the rain that much in that game, but I'm pretty sure the rain looks really good in that game as well. But I'm just comparing these two games right here. Now, on the windshield, you can see both windshields, you know, have a wiper going. They have rain falling onto the windshield. And, you know, they both look good. I didn't feel like, you know, one was like, oh, like this was fake. It's not really hitting my windshield. Like, I did feel immersed in that sense that the rain was definitely hitting my windshield. Now, one big, major, huge difference between these two games was when you drive behind a car in iRacing, the car kicks up so much rain in front of you to the point where, you know, there's so many times where I couldn't see in front of me, like at all. There was just a mess of rain from the car in front of me. That didn't happen in GT7. In GT7, I was always able to see in front of me without a problem, with nothing obstructing my view, no matter how close I was to the car in front of me. Now, I'm gonna blame that on GT7 is trying to appeal to a wider audience. So they're actually going to keep that, you know, they don't want to make the audience mad by having to drive and not see in front of you, because it is very hard to drive like that and you have to really slow down and get away from the cars in front of you. So I think they're trying to appeal to more people, and they're not, probably it's not as realistic as iRacing when it comes to that. If you're going to drive with someone, you know, at 80, 100, you know, more miles per hour with heavy rain, you're probably not seeing a lot. Now, I've never driven a race car in the rain, but I'm assuming that iRacing is going to be more realistic when it comes to that and what's actually happening. Now, also, the cars in front in GT7, I felt like the rain that they are shooting up, the graphics were very, like, low res. They just, they're very, like, choppiness. They're not really like a smooth, high fidelity graphic. In iRacing, it looks more like rain is actually shooting off the car. So, you know, of course, they have to pull things back to run on PS5, and I get it. Is it distracting? Not at all. It's still, like, great. Again, we're talking about a $500 PS5 versus, you know, a few $1,000 PC. I'm not expecting them to look as good, comparable to each other. I'm just telling you the difference is that you know, I'm just telling you what I see. I'm not saying that one is better and you should go out and spend $3,000 on a PC tomorrow. I'm just, you know, I just want to compare the two for you. Now, as far as driving in the game, I felt that GT7 is definitely easier to drive. Now, both of them, now obviously, you know, it is still harder to drive in the rain, and if you hit like the sides of the roads, those you know, the road things on the floor, the red and white checkers and stuff like that, you hit them like you slide. So, like, yes, it's harder to drive. It definitely affects the car in the rain. I felt like iRacing was a little harder to really get a better feel for the racing. I thought it was a little harder to drive. I felt like braking also had a bigger effect on the car, losing the back end and stuff like that. So I felt like I can push the car a little more in GT7, but because of just being able to drive and you know, doing a lot of road circuit racing in GT7, you know, it still transfers over to iRacing. You just need more practice of racing and how to handle it and get used to the car. So it's not like you can't jump from one to the other. So, you know, again, super impressed with iRacing. The Quest 3, great headset, nothing short of PSVR2 looking great as well. I put on PSVR2. I did iRacing first and then did the PSVR2, and you know, I thought it was gonna be like every time I put PSVR2 on, it still looks really good. So I'm always impressed with it. Even coming from the Quest 3, it still looks good. You know, obviously it has a much smaller sweet spot and things like that. But I love PSVR2. I love the Quest 3. But the rain really is I don't know, it's next level with the iRacing, and it just looks really, really good, and you can really tell the difference in the video even. But anyway, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Thumb up the video, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. We out here. Peace.